Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. As you can see, I'm in my car. I'm waiting for my son to get done with baseball practice, so I am hanging out here and I'm going to shoot some videos. And so I figured while I have time and while I'm doing this, I'm going to start a little mini series, I guess, called I don't know, car talk, but no, that's a old radio station. I don't know, something in the car, I don't know, something. Anyways, just little short videos to talk about things that are on my mind and things that I've been thinking about. One thing I've been thinking about is the whole M1 line of computers. Now that they're all out, you know, they've all been updated. And what I think about them for people like us, photographers, people who are enthusiasts, who are, I don't want to say amateurs because that's, I don't know, that seems demeaning, but people who are hobbyists and enthusiasts about photography and even video, being just creative. What do I think of these computers? Now, I think for people like us, I'm including myself, these computers are great. I mean, they're really good. And if you're sick of hearing about Apple and the M1 chip, you can skip this video. Now, I have nothing against Windows or Chrome OS or iPad OS. I think all of those are great operating systems. I think they all could be used for photography, videography. Obviously, I talk about the iPad quite a bit. But I think the M1 Macs are, I don't want to say game-changing because you hear people say that too much and they've used that term very loosely with these iMacs, but I think they're really, really good. Now, I mean the M1 Mac, sorry. Now, a couple weeks ago, Apple released or introduced a new M1 iMacs, and they are backordered like a lot. So now that we have all of them out there, I think for people like us, these computers are really good. And there's a range of computers, even though they're all pretty much the same computer, right? They have the M1 chip, 16 or 8 gigabytes of RAM, and up to 2 terabytes of storage. All of them have that. And you have different port configurations if you're getting the iMac or just the iMac. It's really nice because you have your desktop options, right? You have your Mac Mini and the iMac, and then you have your laptop options, which are the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro 13-inch. And so it really just comes down to what do you guys need, or what, you know, whoever is looking at upgrading, you know, what do you need? For, you know, if you have a computer, if you have a screen, a mouse and keyboard, getting the Mac Mini is probably a no-brainer. It, no matter which one you get, you're going to get two Thunderbolt ports and two USB-A ports, Ethernet jack, and HDMI port. That's, you know, you plug it in and you're off and ready to go. So with the iMac, you have two versions of the iMac. You have your entry-level iMac, and then you have the step right above that. The entry-level iMac has two Thunderbolt 3 ports, and that's it. Doesn't have an Ethernet jack. That's it. So you get those two ports. It's kind of like the laptop line. If you get the version up, I think that's $1,500. You get two more USB-C ports, and you get an Ethernet adapter, Ethernet jack on the brick of the power brick. So now they have power bricks on the iMac. Personally, I would go with that one if you're looking at getting an iMac, just because you have options of expanding if you need, you know, extra storage on there, and you also get an Ethernet jack. I know a lot of people do things on Wi-Fi, but if you are trying to upload a ton of videos or a ton of pictures, or even just want, you know, faster data speeds, you probably want an Ethernet jack. And then on the laptop line, you have your MacBook Air, MacBook Pro. They are essentially the same thing, except the MacBook Pro has a fan in there and a touch bar and a little better battery life. But other than that, they're really both the same. The reason why I say these computers are really good for people like us is because I've seen people who have tried editing 8K uncompressed raw video on these machines, and it works perfectly fine. I've also heard people, you know, audio engineers who have really complex Logic files. I'm not familiar with Logic, but I've heard people say, you know, they've tried running this same file on their, you know, 16-inch MacBook Pro and it struggles, or their iMac and it struggles, and they've tried running it on a MacBook Air or MacBook Pro and it works perfectly fine. So unless you're planning on shooting 8K video, 12K video, and really pushing these machines, I think for us, normal people, I guess who would call them, people who aren't at the extremes, this is going to be really good. And look, I include myself in this, even though I do get paid occasionally to shoot video and pictures. Even then, for what I do for client work, this will be more than enough. I don't ever shoot in 4K, really. I've only done it a couple times, and when I have, I've used the iPad to edit that video, and it worked fine. So if it can work on a 2017 iPad Pro, I know for sure it's going to work on the M1 Max. And just so you know, I put my money where my mouth is. I bought an M1 Mac. I'm not going to tell you which one. I will let you guess down in the comments below. But if you want to know which one I got, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you can see when that video comes out. So what do you guys think? Are you in the market for getting a new computer? And if you are, have you thought about these new M1 Macs? I know it sounds like everyone's talking about how great they are and there's no problems. Of course there's problems. There'll always be problems. Like, they're still in this transition from Intel to their own ARM chips, and so you're going to have some programs or things like that that don't work right away, but they are so far and so few in between that it's really more like plugins for Final Cut Pro, Logic, and those type of things. But if you're using Lightroom or Photoshop, even Adobe Premiere, those will all work fine, even better on these M1 Macs and the previous Macs and probably most Windows computers. Thank you as always for watching this video. Without you guys, these videos would be me just talking into the abyss. So I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate the comments, the likes, the dislikes, everything. I appreciate it all. I will see you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.